Hello there. Welcome to a video game commentary video. I am Fred. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Now, for those of you who are new here, typically when I finish a game over on my Twitch channel, I record a video giving my final thoughts and opinions on said game at the time of completion. Well, and I say completion by the time of hitting the end credits. That's not quite the case here with this week's subject, with it being Dragon Age Origins, because of quite a bit of the DLC content is best to be done after you finish the main campaign. And so we done that. With the exception of the Darkspawn Chronicles, we went through every bit of content that Dragon Age Origins offers in terms of like a single beginning to end playthrough. So we begin with selecting our character type, a city elf, rogue, and then end with saying goodbye to Morgan at the end of Witch Hunt. Overall playtime, I want to say, let's see, about 60 to 65 hours, give or take. And since I played the Xbox 360 version, ended up with about 68, 69, nice, percent of the achievements, of course, through all the in the main campaign of a single playthrough, plus the various DLCs, the Song of Leliana, the Golems of Amarok, the Witch Hunt, Awakening. Again, everything except the Darkspawn Chronicles, which I really had no interest in playing. That said, the one big thing I want to say here, this was not my first time playing Dragon Age Origins. No. Long-time viewers of my Twitch channel would know I played the PC version several years ago, and I absolutely hated it. I hate the PC version of Dragon Age Origins. A lot of my gripes with that version of the game comes down to the fact that I couldn't see or identify Jack in certain parts of the game. It's like I tried turning up the resolution, brightness, everything. That version of the game is just freaking awful as far as I'm concerned. But when I eventually got when I got the Xbox One in 2020, one of the games I picked up straight away, mainly because it was combined with another, was Dragon Age Inquisition, because it was also came like it was a 2-pack offer with Mass Effect Andromeda, a game I eventually will be played, so to do a fresh commentary on that at some point in time. Either which way, I played Dragon Age Inquisition and I had a blast with it, and I said, okay, at some point I'm going to play the console version, the Xbox 360 version, since it's backwards compatible, of Dragon Age Origins. I said this again a couple of years ago. So got around to that time, since I changed my format instead of trying to play as many different games as possible in the course of the year. Let's focus on these larger scale campaigns, and Dragon Age Origins worked its way up the list. And I have to say, it's like the console version it was such a treat and such a joy to play, mainly because it was like it didn't. You could say that it's more simplified in terms of its control scheme, and where you can still pause and do initiate tactics and stuff like that. If that is something you're into, I am not. But, being able to take control of the character at various points in times, or let them doing their own thing, I felt more relaxed playing the Xbox 360 version, more so than I ever did playing the PC version several years ago. And one of the big things is that I was actually able to see everything that was on screen. And again, I really wish I had that footage still of the PC playthrough, because I couldn't wait for that to be over, because I did not do the DLC then. But with the console version, it's like I was more than willing to do the DLC. I was actually rather excited to do the DLC and to continue the story and the adventures of my rogue city elf. I was enthusiastic. And so, with this brand new, fresh perspective on this game, like erasing the sour memories of years ago, I really enjoyed the story pacing that you can basically choose your own path, much like Mass Effect. So it's like, okay, that cool. That definitely appeals to me. The game is completely unapologetic in regards to a lot of its content, and you can tell that quite a bit of it was in response to the Fox News hatchet job that was done on Mass Effect, because Dragon Age Origins came out afterwards. So it's like you have like the relationships. If you're playing as a female character, hey, you got Zephyrin, you got Alistair, and you got Leliana. If you're playing as a male character, you got Alistair, you got Zephyrin, and you got Morgan. It's like, yes, Zephyrin is a male character who is that can be romanced by both sides. Amazing how this slipped under the radar of the idiots at Fox News back in the day. But regardless, got the romance and the character banter was simply off the charts. Is like I loved how the characters bounced off one another in terms of dialogue when there was like a lull in the action. The dog having various interactions with Morgan, Oghren, Sten, Leliana, Wynn, and so forth. And you got some of the great commentary. It was like back and forth with like Alistair and Morgan. Let's face it, those two absolutely love each other. We know that they have the hots for one another. I would totally ship them. But then you have like Morgan and Oghren, and Morgan and Wynn, or Shale and Wynn, which actually was quite a wonderful pairing there. But it was quite. It was like just being able to kick back and enjoy the banter. Like there were times I would just stop while I was walking just to listen to the dialogue. So again, it's like kudos to the writing in that, and the writing is certainly a strong point, and it carries over into the DLC as well. Not so much with the Golems of Amarak, which was definitely more of a combat heavy slog and everything else, but the story of Leliana getting the setup as to her betrayal, and then you have like awakening, such as the post Blight world, and dealing with the political situations, and then you have Witch Hunt, which is depending on what you did with Morrigan. It's like kind of determines a number of different factors there. But it was like a lot of great writing. Since the last thing I did was Witch Hunt, Finn absolutely, who is the mage in that particular DLC, ended up being one of my favorite characters because of just his dialogue ended up being so damn good. And also, speaking of dialogue, and let's switch into vocal performances. That this game certainly has an incredible cast. You had everything from Claudia Black as Vala, as like I'm thinking Stargate SG-1, but she's voices Morgan. You have Kate Mulgrew as Flemeth, Tim Russ as the Dalish elf leader, Zephyrin. I can't remember the dude's name. It's an incredible, very thorough cast. There's like there is hardly any bad vocal performances. Visually, I think Dragon Age Origins, for a game release and again the Xbox 360 era, holds up exceptionally well. The sound design is really good, and since I was playing it with earbuds in to try and cut down on some like audio echo, The audio design is very, very good and exceptional. And that was another prop gripe I had with the PC version was how it sounded. But the console version sounds phenomenal. It's like you, if you're playing with earbuds and you're leaving the settings on their own, you're certainly going to get those snarls from every single wolf, werewolf, and darkspawn that you encounter. It's like yeah, they make it known that they're in the vicinity in terms of how loud that is, but it added to the immersion at the same time. Music, you think your typical. I would say music wise, kind of like mundane. You got it can be bombastic during action sequences, but for the most part, it's like it's serviceable. You don't really think about it outside of like certain moments, such as when Liliana sings in the camp, for example. There's really not much in the ways that stand out, like in terms of like a musical accompaniment to go along with a lot of things that's on the screen. So that kind of we kind of would say that's a weak point in music wise. Controls, I found the controls to be very responsive. Again, playing the console version and being able to map 6 commands that I had constantly going to was a real treat and delight. The AI, again, from a casual perspective, in terms of the allies, for the most part, did things very, very well. If when I screwed up, I certainly felt like I was the one that screwed up. I couldn't really blame the game because we certainly had ourselves our fair share of game overs. Even playing it at a casual difficulty, the game can be quite difficult if you're not thinking about your surroundings and everything and every option and tool that you have at your disposal. So there's that. And again, that difficulty kind of ranges true because you got your gear management, and you only have so many inventory slots. At most, you can have is like 120 inventory slots, and you don't really get like a place to store everything unless you have like the Stone Keep DLC that you can go to and dump stuff in. Otherwise, you're selling off everything that you have, and you also have to manage your not only just your gear but the gear of your companions in terms of like weight management and stuff like that, where you have to consider things like stamina being a particularly huge factor. So the big question is, at this point, would I play Dragon Age Origins again? And the short answer is yes, I would. Mainly because there are achievements for doing the introductory, like the prologue, for each individual character type. So human noble, Dalish, elf, a mage, dwarf noble, dwarf commoner. So you get like a nice variety there. And since I did city elf and a rogue, that means the next time I play, I'm going to have to either be like a warrior type or a mage, and potentially as a different species altogether. Although I think next time I might try and stick with like an elf. I rather like the elf, especially as like the female elf being like so much shorter than everyone else, taller than a dwarf, shorter than every human. It made some of the dialogue quite awesome. But I obviously cannot do city elf again. So yeah, I definitely will play it again. I'm not so sure I will go through all the DLC again. Because that almost seems like a one and done, unless I want to try and challenge myself on certain achievement types, going after certain achievements. Oh, I almost forgot the other thing regarding why you want to do another playthrough. There are choices in this game, such as what you do in Ozamar as it relates to the golems. Like on this playthrough, I destroyed the anvil, and that led to Ogren's ex-wife losing their shit, and we had to deal with that. We sided with the Circle of Magi. We sided with the Dalish Elves, so that means on the next full playthrough. Oh, and we Loghain. So on another playthrough, that would mean doing the opposite of all that, because there is an achievement for recruiting all available characters, and Loghain is one. But there's a way to get Loghain and also keep Alistair happy, make sure he becomes king, and so forth. So I'm kind of considering a number of different playthroughs for the future, but it'll be some time before we play it again. But I definitely will play it again. It's beginning and the end. The main campaign is like 40 hours, so it's on par with Mass Effect. So it's like, cool, neat. And also there's like multiple ending variants as well to consider. So yeah. So with that said, that will wrap up my thoughts and opinions of like the definitive way to play Dragon Age Origins is the Xbox 360 version over the PC version. Sure, the PC version you got mods, but you know, I was like, if you got to add something to the game and do something to the actual code to make it a better playing experience, then it's not better than the console version. Is what I'm saying. So with that said, tighten your friendship bracelets, stay safe, have a good one, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and we'll see you in the next video, which more likely will be Wednesday for the Daria reactions. So then, bye.